Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. You know, most people actually want to eat healthier, but they don't want to feel deprived. And no one wants, that I know, actually likes the word diet altogether. So our next guest, Khera, is actually a national board certified health and wellness coach, as well as a culinary nutritionist. She says actually changing your mindset around food is actually the most important step in making better food choices. Thank you so much, Karuna, for joining us for today. You say that a mindset is a very key to actually making positive changes around the food. Give us more details on this.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having
Certainly.
me here. Yes, the mindset is a powerful thing to make any kind of changes that actually stick. Oftentimes, we can make changes, but the biggest question is, why can't I stick with that
Yeah.
change? And that's where the mindset comes in. It's looking at food as your friend and not fighting it, and also coming from a space of gratitude, like feeling good that you are eating healthy because it's making you feel good and not feeling deprived. So really shifting our way that we look at the foods that we are eating, and really coming from a space of learning and curiosity that this food is making me feel good. I feel good after having this food. I have a lot of
Yeah.
energy, and that mindset really helps.
I think also too, I think what most people, or at least for me, most people are like, wow, I've been sleeping really well lately because and you realize it's because you've been eating well. People don't even realize it's helping you 24 hours a day. Makes sense. Now you say you have 4 easy tips that we can actually start doing right now and that actually are going to help us have that mindset. The first is you say mindful eating practices. Like what?
Mindful eating practice is so important to help with that mindset shift. We are always getting to the next thing. That's how our lifestyles have become. We
Right.
always have something to get to, and we're always rushing and in between grabbing something to eat. So we are always on the rush. So we don't realize whether we're actually hungry or I've finished eating this, am I actually full, and just kind of helping yourself to identify those cues comes from mindful eating is just sitting down and giving yourself 5 minutes to just have a snack, a meal, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, just kind of giving yourself a distraction free space to eat your food.
That you're concentrating on, you're not concentrating on the food or whatever, but you're in your time. This is the period where you eat. That makes sense to me. I think another thing is, finding recipes that maybe you're going to cook and where your creativity comes from. But that's your next tip is actually cook at home more often. And I can understand that way. But what does it bring on the outset of that by bringing it, cooking at home?
Well, I always say when you start cooking at home, one thing that puts on weight is your wallet.
Right.
Saving,
Yeah.
right? You start saving a lot of money because it is expensive. A family of 4 eating out, it gets expensive, and not to mention all the other additives that come with eating out. Now, again, the argument could be that everybody needs a break. We don't have enough time to cook at home. So again, like any other skills that we help in developing, what we want to do is just start to practice and give yourself some time to cook at home. So it could be just cooking a family meal together on a weekend, or picking a day in the week and saying, this week on a Friday, I'm going to make a meal for myself at home. So it's not about cooking every day at home if there's no time, but it is at least setting that intention that out of a 5-day work week, maybe I can take out time 1 or 2 days in the evenings to cook something at home. And the more we start practicing that, the better it'll get over a period of time.
And it's fun. It's actually, and then you're spending time with family too. So you think about that. There's a lot of benefits, exponential that can come out of all of that. Staying hydrated, your next step. I think this sometimes goes without saying, but how much water are we supposed to be drinking?
There is no magic number. I always tell everybody there is no magic number. There are guidelines to have, certain amount of water every day. But I always encourage everybody to start from where they are. So, if I'm not drinking any water at all, for me, even having 2 glasses of water in a day is a big win. So the first step to stay hydrated is to see and observe how much water we are actually drinking. And once we get to know that, and again, that's that mindset, that we are trying to inculcate and be intentional about our consumption of water, then we start upping our limit from there. And it's all about how much I can handle in a day.
Sure.
A lot of them don't tend to consume a lot of water towards the night because then you're awake and doing runs to the restroom at night, right? So it is your comfort spot of how much water you can handle, how much hydration you can handle. But the key is to stay hydrated. And one tip I do want to add here, a lot of them, it's funny when we talk about staying hydrated. It's also a preference. Some of us like to sip water through a straw, a bottle, a glass. So it's also it's also finding out, what is a best way that I actually enjoy drinking water.
No, it's funny you say that because I realize this myself. I like a wide mouth glass. I don't like sipping on a straw. I don't like going through the whatever. I find myself drinking more that way. But it's funny you say that because I discovered that just basically recently. So neat. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Your final tip, it makes a lot of sense. We only have about 30 seconds left, but plan and prep. Explain obviously how much prepping should we do?
The prepping all depends on how much we want to prep.
Okay.
Again, and how much we can, given our schedules, our time, and just giving our lifestyle. So, if we really shoot really high and look at, there's just so much information out there, so we kind of feel overwhelmed. So just start small, start slow, pick one day, and then just plan your meals and prep them. I
love that. And your planning shouldn't be, I'm going to go to McDonald's on this day and then Burger King. Don't make that part of your plan. Make healthy eating.
Not at all, yes.
Very good.
Cooking at home and healthy
yes,
eating.
Yes, cook at home for sure.
Plan.
If you want more information, check out nourishhealthyhabits.com. Thank you so much for joining us. More Daily Flash coming up right after this.